Well, good morning, everybody. This is Richard Wishart. This is Cams Hour, coming to you from Cambridgeshire, connecting Cambridgeshire businesses with the world, or Cambridge business with the world. So welcome to Cams Hour. This is our number 5. We've actually been going all week, so Monday to Friday, 9 till 10. We're not quite up at the hour yet, but we're doing about 30 minutes now on our Cams Hour. And as things develop, hopefully to increase that. Yesterday, welcome everybody. Great to have you here. It's a rather overcast day in Cambridgeshire today. We're expecting rain later on. So roll on summer holidays. What we did yesterday, we've been doing this every day this week, and I will be continuing it next week as well. So from 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock, Monday to Friday. Yesterday we had a bit of the focus, the news and what we did was about engagement. And I set a challenge, and the challenge had a winner. So the winner was Mervyn Foster of Nordic Walking Cambridgeshire. And Mervyn, so that's his details at the bottom, Mervyn Foster, managed to put in 2,381 hearts. And the challenge was for the person who gave the most hearts in the scope. Now, I'm not a fantastic believer. Oh, hi, Luana. Good to have you on board. So I'm not a fantastic believer on the heart concept, but it is really good from a presenter point of view. When people start putting hearts on, you can see whether they're actually enjoying what you're saying. Putting lots of hearts on is maybe not the name of the game, but Mervyn won it yesterday. And a little bit about Mervyn, he does Nordic walking. I go out with him Nordic walking every week. And on Sunday, I'm going out to Patworth St Agnes for a Nordic walk. Apparently, there's some hills there in Cambridgeshire. I've not done it before. Hills are quite rare in Cambridgeshire. It's quite flat. But the other thing that Mervyn does is he was in the Royal Signals, and he was a yeoman of signals, I believe. And he was the fastest Morse code keyer that they had in training. So if you want someone to give you lots of hearts, then Mervyn clearly is the guy. So in half an hour, 2,381 hearts. That must be a record. So thank you, Mervyn. So what I've also got, what I intend doing on these Cams Hours is really covering 3 things. So I want to cover the news, I want to cover people, and I want to cover events. So let's see what we can do now with events. I've done it slightly differently today. I've actually done not just one slide, but I've done 2 slides on the screen. So this was my highlights from yesterday. Periscope is very much a visual medium. It's a moving image medium. And what I really like is some of the outside broadcasting opportunities that it gives. So this on the left is General Electric. They've been having a drone week, #DroneWeek. On Periscope. I hope they're going to extend it. But this is a Phantom 2 quadcopter with an iPhone attached on a stabilized gimbal underneath the quadcopter. And they've been putting this quadcopter around all their factories and test facilities and things this week, and it's been brilliant. So this is just an upfront view of the quadcopter. They actually had it in a train building facility in Texas, I think it was. And you can just see the train behind, a huge train. And the trains, they have a test track there for the trains. So what they did was they flew the quadcopter and they took pictures of the trains as the trains were going around the track. It was just like watching a miniature model railway, if you like. But the concept is brilliant. It's fantastic. Clearly, you're not getting any interaction or speech from the quadcopter, but what they have is a pilot, a drone pilot. So a GE drone pilot actually flies the copter, and he speaks to you on the conversation not as the person running the scope, but the person actually not the scope itself, but someone who is logged into the scope, and he gives you a bit of a briefing as you go along. So that was numero uno. Yesterday news. This next one, this is a surfing dude in Australia. So he took his camera surfing. He took Periscope out into the surf. This is him above water, but there's a number of shots where he's actually below water, and they're fantastic. So this is really, really stretching the limits. And one that I did yesterday, So this is, I have a buddleia bush just growing out the back. We're waiting for all the butterflies to arrive. I'm expecting it to be really crowded. So I went out and did my first buddleia scope yesterday. And guess what I saw? I saw this little fella. So this little ladybird. And zoomed in on him and followed him around as he went about his business. So fantastic. So here we have, in one day, looking at trains going around a track in Texas from a drone, following a guy in Australia as he's doing his surfing, and watching bugs on a tree in Cambridgeshire. So is that not fantastic? I think that is really incredible. So that's the forward-facing camera part of the day, and now I'll put you onto your presenter announcer, which is me. So let's turn this around. The screen will go dark for a second, and then you come back. This is me. This is Richard Wishart. I'm on hashtag CamsHour. CamsHour is for Cambridgeshire Business and connecting Cambridgeshire Business to the world. So big objectives, but good start, small start, growing start. We have about 60 or 70 people on the call every day. I'm hoping to grow that. There's a number of my friends have come on. I know Luana's on today. Welcome, Luana. I gave you a slight missed call yesterday on the tweet that I sent out because Luana now has a new business and a new, Luana has got a new business and a new handle on Twitter and on Periscope. So Luana, do you want to put up your handle, put up what you're called now on Twitter and on Periscope? You want to try that? So Friday is a big networking day in Cambridgeshire. We have the A14 coffee morning, which is going on at the moment. I don't know whether they've managed to join us. Connectivity down there is pretty poor at the tap room. Name and shame a bit. There's no 4G and the Wi-Fi doesn't do scoping. Oh, hi there. Hi from Huntingdon. Excellent. Good. So it's Ray. Sorry. Can you just tell me what your name is? Your first name, so I can't quite. Often you can't pick up the handles unless you're familiar with it. So it's Josh. Hi, Josh. Well, welcome to #CamsHour. I've been doing this now. I'm doing it regularly every morning from 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock. I'm talking about Cambridgeshire Business. I'm talking about the Luana.com. So it's Luana.com, everybody, if you want to get through to Luana. As I say, she's starting up her new business. Her new business is really about, it's really about helping people who struggle with getting themselves online. For some people, it comes naturally. For people like me, I push it all the time. But for some people, they find it quite difficult. So Luana's business name Get Online. So it's really to help people who are struggling about what online means, how they can actually do it, getting their first website up, getting themselves onto social media, all the very basic stuff. So if I started talking to someone like that, I'd lose them within the first 5 minutes. But Luana is very patient. She comes from a learning and education background, and she will help very carefully to bring people through, get them online, get their website up. It's not as daunting as you think. And hey, you never know, they might even get them onto Periscope. So there's a challenge for you, Luana. Get some of your customers onto Periscope. Get them to actually Periscope. Luana, why don't you Periscope? What we'll do is, I know it's very early. You've just only really come onto Periscope, but let's get you up and get you Periscoping. I'm really keen to. I'm the chairman of the Huntingdonshire Business Network. That's one of my things that I do. Elected chair. It's a small business organisation for small businesses or micro businesses, and we help each other. We've got 2 meetings today. We've got a committee meeting at 11:30 to 12:30 at the WI Centre down in Huntingdon. Oh, you've just been to the secret garden party. Well, my son and my son-in-law are both up there, and they're running the hog roast stand. So they do really good bacon butties, and they also do really good hog roast butties as well. I think they're up there with, this is staggering, they're up there with about 30 or 40 pigs in a cold trailer, and they're cooking 24/7 for this week up at the Secret Garden Party, which is only just up the road. It's about 2 miles from where I live. So when the music gets going, I haven't heard it yet, but when the music gets going, I can hear it here. So it's and also the number of people. It's a lot of cooking. It's a lot of cooking. And so it's a major logistical exercise, a lot of preparation. We've been preparing for this for about 2 weeks. And now it's live. So it's round the clock, 24/7 for the rest of the week. So lots happening in Huntingdon. Oh, excellent. We've got Mervyn on from the A14 Coffee Morning. Excellent. So you've got some connection down there. It's a bit worrying. So hello to everybody at the A14 Coffee Morning. Please join and join in. We run this every morning now, or I run this every morning now from 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock every working day. So that's Monday to Friday. This is Cams Hour, #Cams Hour, and it's connecting Cambridgeshire Business with the world is the objective. So you may be aware that as we now get into summertime, all the good programs finish, all the good series finishes on the television, all the repeats come on, all the journalists disappear off on leave, and we get tons of repeats and the news. It would appear, if you're watching the BBC, that there's no news in late July and August. Hey, there is news, it's just nobody's reporting it. So what we're going to do... Oh, it's Frank's birthday. Excellent. Good. So big call out to the A14 group in St Ives. Brilliant little group. They meet every Friday, first thing in the morning. I think it's 9 till 10 as well. So we do overlap, but I can maybe help them broadcast. Alan runs it, runs the group. It's quite informal. They meet at the tap room in St Ives by the bridge in St Ives. Lovely down there. And it's just a really good way of meeting your buddies on a Friday morning for a coffee and a chat. Nothing formal, very informal. But they get about, I don't know, how many people are there this morning, Mervyn? It's normally about 10 or 12 people. So we have the A14, then we have the HBN, 11:30 to 12:30. We've got a committee meeting this morning, but of course it's... Is there going to be any new road? I don't know what you mean by that, new road. We are waiting pensively for this big A14 rebuilding that they're going to do. We're waiting a long time for that, and roads around here are pretty dire. If you use things like the guided bus to get into Cambridge, brilliant, because that doesn't go anywhere near the main road. But the A14 is a bit of a nightmare. It can take you, depending on time of day, it can take you 10 minutes to get into Cambridge, or it can take you an hour and 10 minutes. So it's really, really bad from a business point of view. Yeah, the A14 is the road. It's the road between Huntingdon and Cambridge, but unfortunately it's also part of the main Euro route between the Channel ports and the Midlands. So it runs the whole way. So what we get is our little road that would take us into Cambridge has got hundreds of HGV vehicles, and it's a real nightmare. The road isn't big enough for all the traffic that goes on it. So it's been a real source of irritation for people in Cambridgeshire for a long time. And we're hoping to get it fixed. So maybe I'll do something on infrastructure. There's a lot of infrastructure being put in here, and that might be something for a future scope. Then we've got HBN. HBN, 12:30 to 2:30. The WI Centre in Huntingdon. Please drop in. This is a group of micro businesses looking to... Yeah, it's a bit noisy down there as well, but it's great to have you on board. By the way, you featured, if you look back at the scope at the beginning, you featured on the front page because you got the most number of hearts yesterday. So we're probably doing, it's a bit late to start it, we'll probably do a heart challenge today as well. So whoever gets the most number of hearts, except Mervyn, who I'm afraid you disqualified Mervyn this time because you won last time, and the fact that you're a professional Morse code keyer with a really high hit rate. But if someone else would like to try and take Mervyn's crown, we'll crown another... Yeah, we should only let them drive on Sundays, but it's a nightmare. It really is. They're supposed to have they have built a freight line from the channel or from the ports, a railway freight line that sort of goes north of us here, up past Ely, around that way, that should connect into the Midlands. But hey, we've still got the vehicles. The vehicle loads have not transferred to rail, so there must be something to be done about it. It's really, really bad. Okay, so the big shout out is I've done scoping news, if you like. Some great stuff on there, and I'll do that each day as well. So I'll show you my highlights of the previous day, not highlights of the previous week, because it moves so quickly. Scoping really does shift. I'll do people, and today we've done Luana and Mervyn, and I'll talk about businesses in Cambridgeshire and the people who run those businesses. I also talk about events. So I've talked about the A14, the HBN events, which are the normal the normal Friday networking for us here in Cambridgeshire. But tonight, and I'm going to this, if anybody's there, there's the great summer barbecue for business networking. And it's on Midsummer Common in Cambridge by the Fort St. George. Now, you might be lucky. There might be 1 or 2 tickets left. I think it is almost sold out. But I'm going down there this evening and I'm hoping to scope. So I'm going to be scoping from the great summer barbecue in Cambridge this evening. So it starts at 5:30. I think food's about 7:30 and it goes on till about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I'll probably be doing it towards the beginning of the session, provided I can get some signal. So keep your fingers crossed for good signal tonight, because I'm going to be scoping from the barbecue. And I'll try and interview some good people. Some of the people I know, and I'll just be cheeky as well. I'll go up to people I don't know and scope them as well. My daughter last night said she was a bit embarrassed with her dad with his scoping, going up to complete strangers and asking them to say stuff. But hey, that's what I do. I've reached a certain age where I don't really care too much about what people think. I'm more interested in what people do and about getting things done. So that's about us for. Well, we're a bit short on. Oh, excellent! 2 businesses in Cambridgeshire loves his job. Now, Cambridgeshire is a fantastic place to live and work. It's if you take the analysis I like to give and why Cambridgeshire Business is so important. In Huntingdonshire, where I am, which is a district of Cambridgeshire, Huntingdon is the fastest growing district in Cambridgeshire. Cambridgeshire is the fastest growing county in the UK, and the UK is the second fastest growing economy in the G8. Also, the other dimension that's important is that Huntingdon, as part of Cambridgeshire, as part of the UK, has the largest number of microbusiness and microbusiness startups in the whole country. So this is really the heart of where microbusiness and innovation and business development takes place. We've even got our enterprise zone up at Alconbury Weald that is being built to foster innovation and development in Huntingdon and Cambridgeshire. So Cambridgeshire is a great place to live. It's a great place for a company like me. I'm an enterprise architect. I've got my own business called Delivery Management, and I work in Cloud of Things. So I work in a highly technical area. And the networking is just superb, both in Huntingdon and in Cambridge. And there's a real micro-business culture that HashCamsR is trying to capture and trying to broadcast. So the other broadcasters are winding down for the summer. We're winding up. So please join us. Please join in. This scope, when complete, will go up on YouTube. It will go up on LinkedIn. It will go up on Google+. It will go up on Twitter. And it also goes up on the Cambridgeshire Business LinkedIn group, which I run. And it also goes up on the HBN group as well. So please, if you see it, please like it. Please comment on it. Please encourage, reshare it. Please encourage other people to come on. I don't know how many people we'll get today, but I really do want to try and promote this and get this going as the voice of micro businesses in Cambridgeshire over the next few weeks. So we keep going when the other news media close down for summer. Okay, so I'd just like to thank you very much for all joining today. We talked about some news, some Periscope news, lots happening, and I'll keep that going. We talked about people, and we've talked about events. And with the scoping and the hearts that are going on, we're talking about engagement. Not too many comments today, but some good... Yeah, no, we know. I know Solo Cup. I know Solo Cup very well. They make all the... You're right. They make all the cups for Starbucks. We've got some real gems of companies in Huntingdonshire that not many people know about. We had a Sorry, I'll just continue for a little bit. I wanted to stop in about half an hour, but let me just finish this off. It's a bit of a history lesson. So, Huntingdon was a small market town. It really developed because it was on the A1, the old A1, the old coaching route north, and it was where the coaching route crossed the River Ouse. So it was a fording or bridging point on the River Ouse of the main North Road, the Great North Road. But then there was the first business really to move into Huntingdon was a gramophone record business. It was I can't remember it was one of the really big names on gramophones who moved his business up here to actually produce for the gramophone records, not CDs or discs, but actually old style gramophone records were being produced. He moved his company up here, and there were two bits to that. One was the production of the vinyl, the actual plastic, and the other bit was the putting on of the music, the technology to put on the music and read the music. So that then generated two types of business in Huntingdon. One was hi-fi, so one was the Wharfdale and Mission and all the big top-end hi-fi companies were in Huntingdon, and it also generated the radio industries as well. So the radio industries during the Second World War, most of the radios for the RAF were made in Huntingdon. So there was a big radio production, and that continued post-war. And until fairly recently, it's been very active. So that's been one side, the sort of hi-fi radio side. But the other bit of the gramophone records was the plastic used to make the record itself. And plastics developed into composites. And composites developed into a composite cluster. So we now have in Huntingdon companies like, let's do some name checks. We've got companies like Encocam, who do crash barriers and crash test dummies. And they also do the honeycomb material that's used in aircraft construction. We've got companies like Forward Composites, who do the unmanned aerial vehicles. They make drones up St. Peter's Road, in a building that hides very well what they do. But all the drones for the UK Army are made in St. Peter's Road. We've got TRB, Lightweight Structures, who produce the. If you've been to Terminal 4 at Heathrow, they have a pod system, so an autonomous vehicle system that take you from the car park to the terminal. Those are made by TRB Composite or Lightweight Structures in St. Peter's Road. So we've got Solar Cup. We've got a whole range of really innovative technology companies, mainly around advanced composites, but a whole range of different companies around Huntingdon. That's just Huntingdon. When you start moving into Cambridge, you've got companies like ARM and some of the really big boys. So you've got this fantastic cluster of companies, both in R&D, high technology, composites, advanced materials, the whole list. So that's a bit of a rant. But it's a rant I like giving. It's important to actually promote what happens locally and support it. Okay, good. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. Hope you enjoy the Secret Garden Party. It's good of you to come in on the scope. I'll be broadcasting again. I'll be broadcasting generally over the weekend, but not specifically. And I'll start the Hash Cams Hour again on Monday. So please follow me if you're not following me. Please join in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week. And let's see if we can get this going. So thanks all very much for your attention and support. And I'll sign off. So signing off from lovely Cambridgeshire.